People of Reddit, what revelation changed your life forever? The only time to really care is when it matters. Job interviews, work, relationships with people you care about, etc. Side note that is only tangentially related. I hate when people see I don't care what anyone thinks as a goal, because it's not a worthy one. You should care about the thoughts/opinions of people who are close to you, or who matter to you, just like they should care about yours. And you should care if you're being compensated to care. And it's honestly more than okay to care what people in general think, because it can reflect certain aspects of who you are, or how you act that might be getting in the way of you being happy, or reaching your goals. Being consumed by what other people think about you is a fucking nightmare, and usually points to things like narcissism or anxiety and shit that is not good for you. But caring a little is okay. Think of your 5 most embarrassing moments. Now think of your best friend's 5 most embarrassing moments. I bet that thinking of your own came really quickly, but thinking of your friend stuck a while, and for a colleague or acquaintance you might not be able to think of any, even though they will all be able to think of their own 5 embarrassing moments, just as quickly as you thought of yours. Basically, these little things aren't a big deal, even though your brain will try to trick you into thinking they are. My life got a lot less stressful when I realized that. I mean, I still lie awake in bed at night replaying awkward conversations to myself and thinking why the fuck did I say that, but at least rationally I know it doesn't matter to anyone but me. After spending the day doing a project at a classmate's house, I saw how their parents settled an argument. Dad forgot to get groceries for dinner after a long shift. There was the initial anger that I was expecting. But rather than throwing insults at each other, or just seething at one another, they gently talked it out in another room, came back, and happily heated up a pizza, while chatting either me and their kid. I remember flinching, when the mom had initially been like you forgot, and my classmate being really confused, and asking me what's wrong? Did something happen? I realized 1, that what I was dealing with at home wasn't normal, and 2, there were parents that genuinely loved each other and made an effort to work through their problems without involving their kids, and my parents were unfortunately not in that group. I was a freshman in high school. Oh my god, I feel this. My parents got divorced about 2 years ago. When I was having dinner with my ex-girlfriend about a year ago, I remember them having a very slight discussion about either hanging a coat on a coat hanger or over the chair. They had a little discussion about it, one thing happened, and then they were back to being happy and nice. That was utterly shocking to me. It's crazy how a bad marriage can change your view on so much. This made tear up a little bit. My parents divorced when I was 9 and did not put me and my siblings first. Literally the only memories I have of my parents interacting are of walking in on them having dispassionate sex while she read a book and lots second-hand accounts of your mom did this to me and your dad did this to me, and even my mom's neighbor telling me how much of a pose she thought my dad was. I was like 12 years old lady. It was really hard to swallow. We knew my mom and dad loved us, but the hatred they had for each other tore us apart, constantly feeling guilt for spending the holiday with one and going on vacation with the other. Felt like a constant tug of war for us to choose. What a shit show to put on your kids, but no mud no lotus, I guess. That when you're growing up, so are your parents. They are constantly evolving and trying to be the best version of themselves. We may be too young to realize it when we are kids, but as we mature, acknowledging this fact and not expecting them to be perfect is something that really strengthens relationships. You can't help anyone if they don't want to be helped. You can devote your life to them, talk to them on and on, or even tie them up and force them into rehab or therapy, but if they don't accept they need help or don't want to change their situation, there's nothing much you can do. Assisted living worker here. 99% of everything you own, I do mean everything, is trash. When you die the only things taken are the TV, if it's good, the car, again if it's good, and jewelry. All of the rest of the stuff is going in the trash. Photo albums, keepsakes, trinkets, artwork, furniture, and clothes. It all goes. How this changed my life. I now understand what really has value. Time. The time you have on this earth. The time you spend with the ones you love. Clothing, furniture, and the like have no value. Spend your money on experiences, not things. That's honestly a really horrible way to think about things. Regardless of what happens to your things after you die, if they make you happy they are not trash. You have one life to live. If your nice china or doll collection, or whatever gives you joy, then you should have it. Also, what kind of disgusting people throw out everything their loved ones owned? Photo albums? That's unspeakably awful. I don't know anyone who would just toss everything that belonged to a deceased loved one. Happiness is a lie. Hold up, hear me out. I used to think happiness meant people just being happy all the time. I was depressed for a long time after my mother passed around 5 years ago, and I came to a realization, after watching a YouTube video analyzing some SpongeBob episode, weirdly, that my idea of happiness was all wrong. No one can be happy all the time. Happiness comes from those little moments. Those times when you're playing a video game and absolutely demolish some kid. Those times when you're hanging out with a friend and you just feel happy. Those are the moments you need to cherish. To me, those moments are the true definition of happiness. I was in an anonymous fellowship meeting. Dude asked me, how much of your life are you going to give to this? Realized I was wasting my life waiting for my husband to change. Divorced. Couch surfed for 4 months until the lease expired. Changed my contact info and my name. Eventually, moved out of state. Hardest and best thing I ever did. Put way more effort into what you want to improve on. Lose weight, cook better, land flip resets, better love life, drive better, study up on shit. Effort is insane and most people put minimum effort yet bitch about it. My cooking sucks. Kek. Stop lolling at yourself. YouTube has unbelievable free content. Google stuff. Watch when others cook your favorite meal and ask to help. You learn to cook, that skill stays with you. You're not eating one healthier and better tasting meal. That is a lifetime of it. Try. Something bothers you, try harder. Life is easier than we think. The fact we live in an era when you can Google anything. It is wildly underappreciated. You don't actually need a significant other to be happy. I kept chasing for a long time, but I didn't get anywhere. I finally said, you know what? I'm going to be happy and focus on myself. I'm graduating soon and moving out of the state, and I don't think I would feel comfortable uprooting someone and having them start over. So I focused on myself, and I'm so much happier. That time moves on, no matter what, and the best time to start something really is right now. I realize this because I always had this mindset of if things don't happen within the span of like a week or two, it's just too long. So I never build any skills or hobbies. I neglected the fact that no matter what, you will get to 1 month, 2 months, 7, 8, a year, etc. down the road. And you can either get there and be a better version of yourself, or you can remain the exact same. This completely shattered any excuses I had of not putting the work in to pursue my goals. At an important point in my development, I'm late high school, I read a book on philosophy, kind of. The book said a few things in rapid succession that really helped me. I'm not my fuck up a father or my family or anyone else. I'm me. My victories are mine, and my failures are mine. It seems self-evident, but it was something that I really needed told. I'm from a small rural town where who your family is defined you. My dad was fucked up, and by extension everyone treated me like a fuck up. No one embraced individualism or self-determination, and that was unhealthy for me. I'm very glad I read that book and took part of its lessons to heart. It helped me become who I'm today, finishing a PhD in STEM and training for the Appalachian Trail. These two. When I snapped at my mother-in-law so harshly that she and my wife immediately left the house, I realized, hey, I think I'm suffering from depression. 2. A few years later, I was waiting for a checkup, and I told my nurse that I had problems getting to sleep the night before. My doctor honed in on that, asked me 10 minutes of questions about my sleep issues, and then altered my antidepressant prescription. I told him that I didn't understand the connection because I'd always had problems getting to sleep. He said, "You've probably always been depressed." It was like the sky opened up. Suddenly, all of high school suddenly made sense. I also realized at that point I'd probably be on antidepressants my whole life. That my father wasn't the total cool and badass dude I had been led to believe my entire life. When he left my mom and I, when I was 14, he stopped taking his medications and his true colors showed. I couldn't speak about anything real life related without him going on a conspiracy theory rant, not Alex Jones levels, but everyone is out to get him levels, and had even turned me against my mom, in order to hurt her. I thankfully snapped out of it that same afternoon, but I don't think I'll be able to forgive him for that. He also turned almost his entire side of the family against us. For a completely different reason, my mom and I demanded I get a no contact order against my dad's mother. For months my dad and his wife talked about me being in their wedding and having me as the maid of honor. Then I found out he had the wedding on Pearl Harbor Day and didn't tell me because dad's mom was officiating. He wanted his mother to do the wedding more than having his only child involved in it. I haven't spoken to him since I was 18. And while it hurt to cut him out, not having that chaos in my life truly made a difference. He tried to message me via his wife, who he left us for, to emotionally manipulate me a few years later, and I broke down crying. I had just moved with my mom. I was starting college, and I was living a good life, but he had to ruin it for that short period of time. I do miss him some days, but I know that I made the right decision. Then a second revelation hit. My mom has been truly my hero and rock through all of the tough times. She stayed with me through my highs and lows, and I will always be grateful and love her forever. Thanks for watching. In comments, write about similar facts and situations from your life. If you enjoy this video, watch other on my channel, and have a nice day.